The family, Scarlett, is here, and we are glad to have you. Scott, back. What's up, baby? Congratulations on the baby. You and the wife doing
Thank
good, I
you.
hope.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Things
It
doing
is
great.
great to have you here, Scarlett.
Finally, Hill Talk Sports
We
has
are
come
back, baby.
to live sports
Been
broadcasting.
Been too long. And we can act like this because talk radio is way worse than we are, so we're good. All righty then. So,
Do you
lots
need
going
new
on.
windows?
Leave
Call
D
my
alone.
people
Leave D alone.
at Universal Windows. They
crazy.
will hook
All right,
you
so
up.
look, let's run it through the gauntlet here. Got a lot to talk about, a lot going on. The draft happened since we've been off the air. NBA playoffs are down to the conference finals now. What else is going on? Oh, Baker Mayfield's still on the team. We'll get to that later. And I want to talk about a couple other things that we didn't plan to talk about that came out after we already did our plan. And Ryan Day has an extension on his contract, $9 million a year through 2028. So they're locking him in. They said, go get that school up north again, go beat their asses because they only got one on you, and then we can go from there. And Deshaun Watson, man. We got to talk about Deshaun Watson right now. We did a little bit in the pre-show about how this now, Scott, you didn't break this news, but you broke this news to me because I didn't know about this. Let's continue our conversation that we had before we were on the air about how this young lady has come out and said, you said the first accuser, correct?
Well, it's Deshaun Watson was in his deposition. He admitted that at the end of his massage with Ashley Soldis that she cried and that she was crying. And he texted her later and said, like after the massage, that night, he sent a text that said, sorry about you feeling uncomfortable. Never were the intentions. LMK, if you want to work in the future, my apologies. This allegation was limited to that he touched her with his penis during the massage non-consensually. And at the end of the massage, he admits that she was crying. Doesn't say that he knew why she was crying or what she was crying for, but she was crying. And I guess, if you leave and someone's crying, you might text them and say, I don't know what happened. But he obviously knew that he did something that made her uncomfortable. And he felt that he should have apologized for it. Is that enough to convict the man? No. But the question I ask is, does it move your needle at all in believing the truthfulness of these allegations? Does it move your needle at all in wondering what was going on in those massages and how close or over the line or to the line he got?
I think that, honestly, in my opinion, and I'm not black or white, I'm in the gray area on this. I'm looking at athletes in general, whether it's pro, college, high school, whatever. When you reach a certain status of eliteness as an athlete, you get a little bit of cockiness in you. Very few athletes that reach that level of popularity or fame are able to. I always tell my players, don't be cocky, be confident. A lot of players you see out there get real cocky. You see it in all different sports. You even see it in pro wrestling. You got a guy come in real humble, then he gets popular, rich, and he gets real cocky with the attitude all of a sudden. I have money, I have status now, so I can do what I want to do. The problem with these guys that get money in their hands is they do feel like they can do pretty much what they want to do because they have that status, that fame, that money. I'm going to use the word allegedly because I wasn't there. You weren't there. None of us were there that's listening right now know what really happened between these young ladies and Deshaun. The fact that 22 women did say this, it could be part of. See, the timing still throws me off of when these allegations came out. They came out after he wanted to be traded out of Houston, which could be bullet in the chamber loaded. Now you want to say something, we're gonna let it out. That could be one of those situations. The fact that didn't come out until he actually said he wanted to be traded is kind of to me. But at the same time, I'm not saying he didn't do this, but like I go back to my original thought, with that kind of status, that kind of fame, there is a very good chance he got cocky with himself and said, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm Deshaun. You're gonna do what I ask you to do, you know? And when these ladies started saying no, it's not gonna happen, he might have felt some type of way about that. Allegedly he touched her with his penis during a massage. And you know what? You talk to different women about different things. I know some women that have been through some issues like that, similar to that. And I honestly asked them, I said, why wouldn't you leave? What's going on? And it's like they scared. They're scared
Yeah.
to leave. They're scared of what's going to happen. This man has money, he has status. He can end my career as far as being a massage therapist. He can put a bad word out there. And some of these women might have been consensually with him because they felt like, okay, if I don't do this, what is he going to say? He's going to say I was a bad masseuse. He's going to ruin he knows people. He can ruin my career as far as being a massage therapist. So I kind of get that side of it too. Now I never will fully get the side of it because I'm a man and I never experienced that. So I don't know how a woman fully thinks about that. I can only assume how I will
I
react to
mean,
something like that.
I look at it like this, some things to think about here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
These women are getting death threats. They're getting different types of threats. Their life
Because
has
he has
become a
money.
living hell. And because he's famous and because he has
Yeah.
fans. And there's people who just are calling them liars and they're gold diggers and worse. That's one reason why women don't like to report this stuff, because whether it's honest, whether it happened or it didn't happen, a large percentage of society is going to assume that they're just lying and trying to ruin this man's career. It goes back to what the police told Jameis Winston's accuser the night she reported it. Are you sure you want to do this? This is a football town. Wouldn't you rather just transfer to another university? So that's one reason. But the other reason, you said it on the head. I don't know. There might be a legitimate fear that if you're a massage therapist who is reporting the client for unwanted sexual advances, while your owner shouldn't be able to do that, you're now the squeaky wheel that's giving his parlor potentially attention that he doesn't or she doesn't want. There's multiple reasons why to not report this. My opinion, as I hear more and more of this come out, I'm thinking that what happened in these massages was that you had one man who didn't think that he was crossing the line and thought that it was okay for him to thrust and gyrate himself in the direction of the massage therapist, or who thought that it was okay for him to continue until he got a distinct no. And you had these women who felt like they couldn't say no, or that they were trying to just slough off the advances before something happened.
Yeah.
And then, this is some type of, in my opinion, some type of unwanted sexual contact occurred within these massages. That's my opinion. Maybe not in all 22, but I think, in a substantial number of them, Deshaun Watson was trying to initiate some type, allegedly, my opinion, but I believe this is one that, as I hear it, the accusers sound more believable, especially as Deshaun Watson starts to say things like, well, yeah, she was crying at the end of the massage, and I called her, text her to say, I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable. What did you do that you knew made her uncomfortable? I know you saw her crying, but there's something that you did in that massage that made you
honestly,
think I caused it.
If I get a massage from a lady and she's crying after the massage, I'll text her, ask her, and tell her, I'm sorry I made you feel uncomfortable. I would ask her right there on the spot, hey, what's going on? Why are you crying? Why not ask her right there? You see? So my needle is moving. My needle is moving to the part of, I think he definitely gets suspended. Before I didn't think they would, but for him admitting that in court like that and testifying that she was crying, and if I'm a defense attorney, I'm going to ask him, why did you text her? Why didn't you just ask her right there on the spot?
What did you do that made you think that her crying was because of something you did?
I mean,
you went to the conclusion it must have been something I did.
It doesn't look good for them. right now.
And
But
and
you guarantee 230 on a guy that might not play.
do you want to work in the future?
Mm.
The way he said that and saying we can work in the future, let me know about working in the future. Boy, that is a passive aggressive bullying statement in a way.
Yeah.
You're crying. You were uncomfortable. I'm texting you to say, sorry, I made you uncomfortable. By the way, let me know about working again in the future. You're just kind of dropping that out there again. Like, I'm an important client. I would still like to work with you if you kind of stop crying and don't tell people I made you cry in the massage. It's not expressly said, but man, that's another twist of the needle to say, do you really want to report this? Can you really prove what's going to happen? I'm Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I'm staying. I am where I'm at the beginning on this. Not entirely. I'm going to watch the Cleveland Browns. I've decided that. I'm going
Because
to
you're not rooting for the player, you're rooting for the team.
but I'm not going to root for Deshaun Watson. And I'm still hoping somehow, even though they owe him $230 million, it would be devastating to the team's chances to win for the next 5 years. I'm still hoping some way that he never throws a pass for the Cleveland Browns. He is not the guy that I want to be on a team that I'm cheering for. You can't prove he's guilty.
The Browns may very well have cemented it themselves as never getting to the playoffs and never get a Super Bowl again, at least in the next 5 years, because this is not going away anytime soon. The fact that he sat in court and said she was teary-eyed and I texted her to apologize, that is a blood red flag for me. Yeah. If you had asked her in the moment, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And she could explain herself to you, then you maybe text her and said, you know what? After our talk, I'm really sorry about what happened today, whatever. But the fact that you didn't address it in the moment that it happened is a huge red flag for me. Not saying the whole thing's not a red flag, but that in particular is an extra red flag for me.
Why if you didn't know why, right? If you didn't know why she was crying, you might ask, why are you crying? Yes. The fact that you didn't ask and you sent it in a text later, and before she answered in that text saying sorry about you being uncomfortable, you don't send that text unless you're pretty sure you did something that made her cry. And honestly, he didn't throw that out there as a bullying tactic. That I honestly think, let me know about working again, was a testing of the waters.
Yeah. If she said yes, then it's like, okay, I ain't doing anything bad then.
This isn't going to blow up. I'm okay. I'm not. My career isn't over this.
That's what that was.
None of this looks good if you want to read the tea leaves. I mean, none of it looks good for Deshaun Watson.
It's bad.
And here's the thing, T. He's going to go through 22 depositions like this. They're going to ask him questions about 22 different accusers, and he's not going to be able to dodge the questions. He's not going to be able to come up with a press release.
Well,
he's going to have to answer questions. They're going to have texts. There's going to be more stuff like this that comes out.
Yeah, he's fried, bro.
I think it's possible he never plays again. Look what happened to Trevor Bauer.
That's true.
And there ain't 22 allegations at Trevor Bauer.
Yeah. Sean might be fried. I think the Browns are in trouble.
And I think that leads into one of the other topics you want to talk about, honestly, because I think that's why that guy is still here. I think that's why that guy is on the roster, given $18 million, even though
you are going to destroy the team. You got to pay him $230 no matter what.
Yeah.
So let's get into it right now. Let's jump into it right now. So Baker Mayfield is still a Cleveland Brown, and the draft has been over for over a month now. There's smoke, but there's no significant fire about where he's going to end up.
No.
If I'm the Browns, I do not, under any circumstances, release Baker Mayfield at this time.
No.
One, because you got to pay him no matter what you do. Because obviously nobody's going to pay that money and take him. If you release him, somebody's going to gobble him up and pay him less money. Whatever.
And you're still out the $18 million.
You still got to pay him.
Yes.
So why not? If you're going to pay him $18 million, have his ass on the team still. Because you never know what's going to happen. Because right now, the way this is going, my gut feeling tells me, what's the backup saying? Brissett or something like that?
Is it still Jacoby Brissett? I'd have to
he's
look
gonna be your guy going forward. Because
No, Baker Mayfield's
Baker's
going to
not
start
healed yet.
opening day.
Baker's not healed yet.
Baker's fine.
I understand he's not throwing yet. So
Baker's
my
not
thing
throwing
is-
yet, so that if they can find out that Deshaun's going to be okay, he doesn't have to show up to training camp and have it be all awkward and they come up with a phantom injury, so it's not a holdout.
the NFL is currently interviewing Deshaun Watson right now. They're going to do all their due diligence right now before the season even starts to determine if they're going to suspend him or not. They're not waiting to 2023 like I originally thought. They were going to, Goodell originally said, we're going to wait till the whole thing's over. But Goodell's saying, you know what? They're getting pressure from the owners to say, do something now. So they're questioning him right now. With him saying stuff like this, chances are, come August, he's not your quarterback. So you have to hold on to Baker Mayfield. And as cocky as he's going to get out there when he goes out there, because he's going to have all the swagger in the world, he's going to see, I told you so. He might just ball out.
I think he is going to ball out. I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this before. I said it at the end of last year. I'm not coming off of this. When healthy, on a healthy team, Baker Mayfield's a guy that can and did win you 12 football games.
I don't disagree with that.
Baker Mayfield is a guy who very nearly was one fumbled Rashad Higgins lunge for the end zone away from getting you to the AFC Championship game 2 seasons ago. He was a guy who statistically and by the eye test looked like a top 12 quarterback in the NFL 2 years ago. He tried to play last year with so many injuries that I can't list them all, and he looked below average. That's as bad as Baker's ever going to look in his career, and he still looked like an NFL quarterback.
Well, obviously,
Baker Mayfield's going to play somewhere.
It's an odd year.
And it's going to be here.
It's an odd year. And every odd year, Baker has done well. Every even year, he has done subpar.
Well, the first odd year was under Freddie Kitchens, so that doesn't count.
But he still played great, though. He still played great.
No, he played great under, what's his name?
You know what I'm talking about.
Greg.
Greg, yes.
It was Greg Williams he played under, wasn't it?
Yes. Greg Williams, yes. And then year 2, it was Freddie.
Under Freddie Kitchens.
Horrible.
Under all shucks, Freddie Kitchens, he was horrible.
It was horrible. Freddie Kitchens is now coaching at college somewhere, South Dakota, I think, something like that.
Then his first year under Stefanski, he looked great. Last year doesn't count.
Last year he got injured.
Gardy McGardface was playing right tackle. And his left tackle was injured half the time, too.
Yeah, he was.
Half the time, his starting tackles weren't on the field. I don't care what you want to tell me about. I mean, look, Nick Chubb didn't even look as good as he has in the past because the tackles were missing. Yeah, tell me whatever you want to tell me.
It was a cluster. Injuries and cluster fucks.
Injury in your throwing shoulder. But, I mean, look, Baker's here because I think Baker's going to be your starting quarterback.
Well, let's go with that thought because, Scott, I don't disagree with you on this because Deshaun.
Here's the crazy thing. I think the Browns can win 12, 13 games this year with Baker Mayfield as quarterback. Give me a healthy offensive line. You've improved this defense somewhat. And I mean, give me wide receivers who are healthy the whole season. Not, Odell Beckham Jr. shouldn't have been playing. Jarvis Landry probably shouldn't have ever came back last year. I mean, he looked like he was 72 years old. Give me a healthy receiving core with some weapons and give me a healthy Baker Mayfield. This team is just as good as it's ever been.
Story for Baker Mayfield? Do you see this as a redeeming story for Baker Mayfield?
I think it's his chance to. And here's the thing. Everyone thinks that the team won't play for him. Bullshit. You know what cures? I'll tell you what cures every single locker room personality conflict. Winning.
I get that.
I'll tell you what creates every single locker room personality conflict. Losing. It doesn't matter if it's amateur sports or if it's a Super Bowl team. When you're winning, the room is great. When you're losing, it's no good.
Regardless if the Browns locker room likes Baker or not, they're not playing for Baker. No. Playing for the city of Cleveland. They're playing for that paycheck. So do you want to go to the playoffs to get extra money? Do you want to get a ring? Do you want to be known as a team that brought a championship to the city of Cleveland, never had one before in football? Yes, you do. So no matter what your professional or personal feeling is about Baker Mayfield, you go out there and you play. My quarterback in high school, we didn't get along, but I blocked for his ass because I wanted to win. and he gave us the best chance. He was very talented. He gave us the best chance of winning. So my job was to protect him so my team can win, because winning feels good, brother.
And
It
here's
feels
the bottom line.
good.
If you're Donovan Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper, Anthony Schwartz, who do you want? Who do you want under center? Do you want Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, or Joshua Dobbs? Who do you want under center? If
I'm
you're
gonna go
Nick
Baker.
Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who do you want under center? And that may sound crazy, but your chances to run the football effectively go up with Baker Mayfield under center over the other two guys, because they do somewhat have to respect the healthy Baker Mayfield. It's a real simple thing.
Let's talk about that a little bit now. Baker, if Baker is a starter, and I think we're leaning towards that happening right now, unless something it's May. Dude, it's May. What, OTAs in June, July? I mean, we're right here. In a matter of 2 or 3 months, we're going. The season's going to start. It's going to be crazy if Baker's a starter, though. So we got 2 new receivers to help out whoever the quarterback is. We got David Bell out of Purdue and Michael Woods, the second out of Oklahoma. What do you know about these guys? And I'm hearing a lot of stuff about David Bell could be a number 1 guy to go in. Not number 1 guy, but a starter day 1. What are your feelings about him? Have you done any research on this guy at all, or what do you think?
No. I'm never a big draft guy. I've never been a big draft guy, because here's the thing. To me, the draft is usually, with rare exception, the ultimate crapshoot. And where the Browns were drafting this year, it becomes the ultimate crapshoot. Anything you get out of David Bell, to me, is going to be a bonus. Is there potential with guys they drafted? Yes. But the nice thing about the Cleveland Browns this year is I don't need any of these guys. I don't need one of these draft picks to play except the kicker. I don't need them.
You like him, don't you?
Well, I mean, I like any kicker over the guy we have. I'm for open tryouts over what happened last year. Haven't had a kicker since Phil Dawson left that's reliable.
That's true.
So,
question for you, though. Why did the Browns draft a running back? I'm not understanding that move.
I actually think I do. Kareem Hunt is on the way out. Bottom line. You gave a 200 listen, I will promise you something. Kareem Hunt's contract is not getting picked up. No way, no how.
I agree.
You gave $230 million to Deshaun Watson. You have to, even if Deshaun is playing, you have to clear cap space. And ultimately, when you have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt is a luxury you cannot have when you're paying Deshaun Watson $230 million. You also just paid Denzel Ward money. You no longer have the luxury to pay Kareem Hunt.
Here's my thing with Kareem Hunt. This is the last year of his contract, correct?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you trade him and get something for him? He's
because you're not going to get anything for him. You don't get
Kareem Hunt?
in the NFL. Nah, you're going to get a 4th or a 5th round draft pick. You'd rather just rent Kareem Hunt for the year and try to win a Super Bowl with him now. You have a window. If you're the Cleveland Browns, all right, I'm the Cleveland Browns. I believe I have a window of opportunity to win a Super Bowl right now with Deshaun Watson. Okay? I mean, hell, I believe I've got a chance to win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. I'm not trading Kareem Hunt for a 4th or 5th round draft pick, because that's maybe a 3rd. I mean, honestly, what are you going to get for Kareem Hunt? Is there anything in that 3rd or 4th round draft pick that you're getting that's worth more than it's going to give you a better chance to win a Super Bowl going forward that you can think of than having Kareem Hunt does this year? Here's the thing. Kareem Hunt's an insurance policy. If Nick Chubb goes down, you still have a dynamic, great top 6, 7 running back in the league on your team. Kareem Hunt, there is no value to getting rid of Kareem Hunt right now for a draft pick, because you're not going to get a 1st. You're not going to get a 2nd. There's no value in trading Kareem Hunt for a 3rd round draft pick that outweighs what he can do this year to potentially get you to a Super Bowl. Plus, it takes miles off Nick Chubb.
Yes.
The miles that you're going to take off Nick Chubb this year, just having him around one more year. And I mean, yes, we got Dearness Johnson. So, but as good as Dearness Johnson is, he's no Kareem Hunt. He just isn't. He's not the same threat out of the backfield. He's just not. So Kareem Hunt will not be traded unless the Browns are like 1-5 headed into the break, or 0-5, and it's a complete shit show. Kareem Hunt will not be traded. They will ride him out for the value that he can give them. But he is gone. Enjoy Kareem Hunt this year, because he is gone. He's gone.
He's definitely done for this. For sure. There's no way.
I mean, yeah, you got too many people to pay. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Deshaun Watson is already paid. Nick Chubb is already paid. You've tied up a ton of money in that offensive line. I mean, you don't have money to keep tying up. You're tied up.
Yeah, I mean, but then here's another problem you have.
Amari Cooper.
Right. Another problem you have going forward. There was a report that came out earlier this week. I heard it on local radio station. NFL analyst from whatever network it was that said there is a possibility that they may just suspend Deshaun for not just 2022, but 2023. Now, if that scenario does play out, this is Baker's last year. So now, not only do you have 230 tied up in Deshaun, who's not playing, if Baker wins 13 games this year, he's a free agent.
And he's gone.
Now what do you do?
He's gone. You can't pay him. He's gone.
So you're
renting Baker Mayfield for 1 year because you believe the window of opportunity is open. With Baker Mayfield, and it's not open with Dobbs or Brissett. So you're renting Baker Mayfield for a year.
What if the Baker Mayfield plays this year and they win Super Bowl?
I think he's still gone. The money's not there. You want to trade Myles Garrett to keep him? Like the money, where's the money coming from to keep Baker?
They are in a conundrum for sure.
Remember, Nick Foles got bounced out of Philly, and didn't he win the Super Bowl in Philly? Or did he get him there? He won the Super Bowl in Philly.
Did he win it?
I think he won it.
I thought he won it. All right. Real quick.
So, I mean, yeah, the Browns are in a shit show. And I'll just say one more thing on this. I actually think Deshaun is getting a serious suspension because of the way the political winds in this country are going. You don't suspend him, they're going after your sponsors. They're coming to cancel you.
They gotta get him.
If he gets one civil conviction, he might be done for life.
And you got to
Deshaun may not, and he's gonna get a civil conviction.
There's no way out of this contract, is it?
No, he's not jail. That I know of.
So
no. He's not going to jail, but he is going to get a civil conviction, I think. And once he gets a civil conviction and he owes that money, the NFL is going to say I think they're going to say you're gone. I think they're going to have to. I think there's a strong possibility Deshaun Watson never plays a game in the NFL again in his life. Yeah, I also think this is going to get a lot worse. You have 22 different women who are going to be airing their dirty laundry about him. He's going to have to ask questions. And everything I've heard so far says that Deshaun Watson was definitely trying to initiate stuff, and it didn't go over well with 22 of them.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a bad look, bro.
He's never going to jail, but I don't think he's going to play another football game in the NFL.
Let's break this down real fast.
Yeah.
Just under the idea that Baker Mayfield is healthy as a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year, I want to real quick go over the schedule with you.
Yep.
And let me know what your thoughts are on this schedule as of right now. Because we can go back to this revisions later on as we get into OTAs and preseason and all that other stuff. And we'll officially do our what the win total loss will be later on in the fall when the fall gets here. For right now, September 11th, we have the Panthers. Baker Mayfield is your quarterback.
That's a win.
That's a win. Okay. Home opener is against the Jets. Jets have a lot of good draft picks. Will they pan out? We don't know yet. But they are on the right track to build for the future with the picks. They made some really solid picks this year. Will those guys come out and play the right way? I don't think they're quite ready yet. Maybe in a couple of years, the Jets would be something dangerous. But right now, we'll see how. Plus, it's week 2. It's week 2 of the season.
I think it's a win. I think it's a win.
All right. So you got to win for them. Oh, then you got the Squealers.
I think that's a win.
Okay, so we're looking at 3-0 right now for the Browns right now. We're looking good. Looking good. Okay. The Falcons. I say that's a win too.
Falcons
ain't been good for a while. Now, who's the quarterback? Mariota?
Is it Marcus Mariota?
I believe Mariota is there now because Ryan went to Indy.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a win.
Look at that 4-0.
Trash can Mariota, that's a win.
Here we go. Chargers. That's a little different.
Are they traveling?
We are home for the Chargers.
I'm going to say that's a loss. That's a
Okay.
loss.
Home loss. Okay. Patriots here.
I'm going to say that's a loss again.
Okay. So we got
Shouldn't be, but I'm going to say it's a loss.
4-2. 4-2 is still
Yep.
doable. 17
Yep.
games, 4-2 is good. So then we got the Ravens at Baltimore.
I believe that is a game the Browns should win if everybody is healthy. This is a defense that has closed the weaknesses that were exploited by Jackson. So
then we have, following that, my favorite quarterback currently, Cool Joe Burrows. So you got the Browns at 5-3 right now.
Is that home or away? Is that the home or away game?
Here.
That's a win.
It's a win. So we got 6-3 right now.
Yep.
6-3. You feel the season's going good, right?
Yeah.
Can't take 6-3. We're going good. 6 wins already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good spot.
Dolphins in Miami.
I'm gonna say it's a win.
7-3. Scott, we are 7-3 right now. 7 wins. 7 wins. Okay, we're going with November 20th, 2022. New York, the Bills.
That's a loss.
Okay, so we're at 7-4.
Yep.
7-4. Still not bad. But it gets better. Or does it get better? Tom Brady.
That's a loss.
Okay, we're at 7-5 now, right?
Yep.
Ooh, it was sitting pretty a minute ago. Ooh, now we got 2 games below 500. Ooh, it's getting shady. It's getting shady. Texans. Whoa.
That's a win.
Okay, now we 8-5. We're still good. We're still good. Round 2 with Joe Burrows. It's Cincinnati this time. We're gonna split him. We're gonna sweep him. We ain't gonna sweep him 2 years in a row.
People gonna tell me I'm crazy. They're gonna sweep them. I like the Browns match. I like the Browns matchups against Cincinnati. I like the Browns matchups against Cincinnati.
We're what we said. We're 8 and. Am I doing it right? We're 8-5.
They were 9-5 now.
No, we're not. Yes, we had 7.
We were 7-5 after Tom Brady.
Okay, 8-5. Okay, 9-5. 9-5. We're in, right? We're in. We should be in right now.
We're close.
Baltimore.
At Baltimore?
Here.
All right, flip me up. Flip me up. We win here, we lose at Baltimore. We win here, we lose. Flip me up. This is the win. Earlier is the loss, but it comes out the same.
Okay. So what?
Well, no. This becomes a loss. I got to say this is a loss. So we're 9-6. Yeah.
9-6. 9-6. Still not bad, though. Still sitting pretty. We're looking at a wild card right now. All right. Now we got the Saints. Christmas Eve, we got the Saints.
I'm gonna say that's a win.
And the snow here, yeah, I'll give it a win too. So we got 10 wins. We're 10-6 right now. The Commanders, we go there January 1st.
That's a win.
So we got 11 wins. 11-6, correct? Am I doing it right? 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6.
Then we end with Mike Tomlin.
We're going to 18 games this year?
Am I doing this right? Did we miss a game?
We had to miss something.
Yeah, missed something somewhere. I think we messed up around Tom Brady.
Unless they went to 18 games.
So basically, what you're saying. So say we got.
I think they're 11-6.
Double digit wins. Yeah.
Somewhere between 10-7 and 12-5 is what I think. With Baker Mayfield and the rest of this team
healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. It's possible. It's possible.
Look, if I could re-roll the dice last year, I would say with a healthy Baker Mayfield and healthy offensive line, Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham Jr., and Jarvis Landry, that's a 13-win team. I would say if you could replay last year with the same roster, the same schedule, they should have won 13 games last year. In all honesty, it's the same team this year, maybe slightly better. There's a little bit of losses on defense with Clowney being gone, and your defensive line's been shuffled. Because one guy got arrested running around naked down in Florida. But ultimately, it's the same team or better. Why would I not think that if this team is healthy, they should still win somewhere between 10 and 12 games? And if Deshaun Watson's here, supposedly they upgraded at quarterback. And I say supposedly because Deshaun Watson's last year in the league didn't light things up with a win-loss record. So that remains to be seen.
Deshaun Watson has a problem playing in cold weather, which everybody knows why I took the contract. $230 million guaranteed. The guarantee part is what got his ass here. We know that already. But the problem is, are you guaranteeing you're going to play? That's a big issue we're having with Deshaun right now. I don't think the guy's going to play based on what he just said in his testimony. It looks bad for him. It looks bad for the Browns. Looks like they may have made a huge mistake right here. And only time will tell. But my gut feeling is agreeing with you, Scott. It's not going to end good for the Browns. As far as this deal goes. I'm not saying the Browns are going to be good, but as far as this deal goes,
oh, there's a real problem. There's a real problem starting next year if Deshaun Watson isn't on the field for the Browns.
Absolutely, because now you got a career backup as your guy. Wait a minute, stop the presses right there. Didn't we sign him for 1 year? The backup,
Jacoby, probably. Yeah. It's not even that. You got whoever you can draft. Whoever you can draft.
This is bad, bro. And you can't trade for nobody. Who you gonna trade for? Nobody.
Listen, I have the solution. I have the solution.
Give it to me.
Hello? Hattiesburg, Mississippi? Can you find me an old gunslinger? I need someone to come throw passes on a team with a great offensive line and a running back. Brett? Come on, Brett.
Get out of here.
Come on, Brett.
Get out of here. Stop
You're recovered now. Come on, Brett.
Stop it.
Gunslinger.
Stop. That's not even in the
cards. You know you want to play again, Brett. Let's go.
That's not in the cards. Can you imagine that, though? Brett Favre? Oh, my God. That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious, bro.
I'll bet you his arm is still better than our backup last year. I can't remember his name already. Keenum. I bet his arm's still better than Keenum's. I bet he can still read the field better than Baker.
Wow. All right. Let's move on real quick. NBA time. Real quick, because I'm not an NBA guy, but whatever. So we're down to the Final Four in the NBA. We're down to the conference finals in the West and the East. So in the West, we have the Dallas Mavericks, who heroically came back from down 3-2 to smash the regular season champion as far as wins go, Phoenix Suns, who just malfunctioned the last 2 games, got blown the hell out the water, against Golden State, who is still relevant. They stay relevant.
Of course they are. They still got the 3 guys that make them relevant.
Homegrown, drafted players who are still relevant today, which I love how they did that, because I think that will be the way the Browns, or not the Browns, look at me, football-minded, the way that the Cavaliers wind up going. So I'm
definitely trying to follow that.
They are. And I think they're doing a great job of it, and I don't want your boy back. But anyways, so then we got them in the West. Real quick, your thoughts on this series. Do you think that Golden State can outshoot Dallas to win this series and go to another finals?
I mean, I think Golden State can outshoot anybody. I mean, that's part of what they do.
So you got to come out of the West, Golden State or Dallas?
I'm going to stay with what I did before the playoffs started and say I got Golden State coming out of the West again.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals now. We already have Miami up 1-0 on the Boston Celtics, who had a grueling series. The last series, I saw some of those games, and they were going at it like back in the 80s. They were hitting each other like real crazy, which I kind of like. I kind of got into that game because it reminded me of how it was back when I used to watch basketball as a kid with Jordan and Bird and all those guys. So Miami's up 1-0 already. Who do you see come out of the East?
I think Boston will win that series.
Really?
Yeah. Ultimately, I think they might be. I could be wrong because I'm not extremely, up on the NBA like I used to be, but I think Boston is the deeper, more complete team. And I think, as great as Jimmy Butler is in the playoffs, I think that Boston will get that done. And I think you're going to have a Boston Celtic Golden State Warriors finals in which the evil, hated Golden State Warriors win another championship. They're the new San Antonio Spurs.
Interesting. Sticking with the NBA real fast and kind of making a Cleveland connection here. Hear about Rajon Rondo?
No.
Oh, look in your private chat right here. Lewis is sending it to us. Rajon Rondo allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because that's a big word you can use nowadays. Allegedly pulled a gun on the mother of his kids in front of his kids. Rajon, brother, dude, you can't do that. That's a no, buddy. So now we're looking at
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So now we're looking at some more issues with our Cleveland sports teams. So Scott, does Rajon Rondo play next year for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Um,
I'll get rid of him. You
yeah,
got
I mean,
two players in the same city doing dumb stuff.
yeah, I mean,
You got your Browns quarterback that might not play because he did some stuff off the field. You got your guard for the Cavaliers, who's a veteran, who's supposed to be helping these young men to become better, doing stuff like this. Now, I don't. Rajon Rondo always seemed to me like a class act kind of guy ish, not the role model you think you see out there all the time, but not your Reggie Millers, you know what I mean? But at the same time, not this guy who's pulling a Kareem Hunt type thing. Like, what's up, bro?
I mean, everyone forgets something. I mean, we just assumed he's not coming back, but Colin Sexton should be playing next year. So you don't need him. You probably don't need him anyway.
Allegedly pull a gun on mom of kids, threatening her life during outburst. Wow, this dude right here.
I mean, you got. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, it's a
You
custody
don't need
battle.
him.
It's a custody battle. Oh, wow. Okay. Rajon, really? So you
I mean,
want
I'm gonna be
custody
honest.
of your kids and you pull a gun on your baby mom in front of your kids. That's done. You'll never see your kids again. Unless it's supervised. Don't care how much money you got. Doesn't matter. You did this. Allegedly. Allegedly did this. So,
I mean,
dude,
look, it's
that's
not someone. I mean, I'm not wanting that around this team from one of my veterans. I'm gonna be honest. Rajon Rondo. I mean, and you can replace him. I mean, he's a great veteran to have, but I mean,
it's nuts, man. It's nuts. Um, what is going on in the world, Scott? Things are getting crazy out here, man. I mean, they've been crazy for years. Remember the discussion we had on the old radio show we used to do, live radio, when I said things are getting worse, and you said something very interesting to me that day, and I didn't agree with you at the moment, but looking back on it, I have to say that I agree with you 100%. You said, T, things aren't getting worse. We just have it firsthand because of social media now. Things
that
have
is
always been
true.
this bad,
That
but
is true.
now we see it instantly. It's always been
Yes.
car bombings and shootings and murders, but we see it. Dude ain't even dead yet, and we get the news already.
Yep.
Somebody gets shot in a bank robbery. Oh, somebody got shot. And they ain't in the hospital yet, and we already know they got shot.
Yep.
It's crazy. The age of information is so vast and comes at so quick that we think it's worse, but it's not. It's the same.
Statistically, you're still better to live in this day and age. I mean, we just had the pandemic of our age, and it's nothing compared to the past pandemics. Death toll wise, it really isn't. We have the first major war, ground war that isn't a proxy war going on in Europe since 1945 between major world powers and nuclear powers. You know, so you don't have. I mean, you had wars every generation. People think you had World War I, World War II, but before that, you had the Franco-Prussian War. You had the U.S. Civil War. You had the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, the murder rate is lower than it's been historically ever. I mean, recently it's spiked up a bit from the all-time low, but you're still less likely to get murdered today than you were living in the 1900s or the 1800s. Your chances of dying violently is, believe it or not, even with all the mass shootings and the other absurd things that are going on, you're still safer today than you've ever been. But you hear about it, and I will maintain this still that the world isn't more screwed up today. You just are instantly aware of how screwed up the world is.
Speaking of the world being screwed up, and we're going to close with this tonight. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Lake Catholic. Lake Catholic High School. Know about that, right?
No.
Where it's located at? Lake Catholic High School had a playoff game for lacrosse the other day, Monday. They played against Orange, and they lost the game 19-7 to Orange advance to the next round of Division II playoffs for lacrosse. Well, a Lake Catholic player had a swastika drawn on his right calf and allegedly was using racial slurs during the game. This is high school, man. This is high school. And this kid's out here with a swastika playing on his leg, and the racial slurs to our team. Okay, so superintendent said it was great sadness that I write to inform you incident that occurred last night on the campus during the men's lacrosse game against Mineral Lake Catholic School. Our players reported seeing a swastika painted on the leg of a Lake Catholic player, who subsequently alumni and parents reported that the visitor was using racial slurs towards our team. Wow. So this kid drew a swastika that goes to a Catholic private school, and he goes out there and spits out racial slurs while he's playing in the game. And I guess he finished the game or whatever. I don't know the whole details about he finished the game or not. But that's another issue we have with our kids going on in the world today. Of course, you have the thing that happened in Buffalo a couple of days ago with an 18-year-old. 18-year-old, dude. 18.
Who has been pretty much brainwashed by Tucker Carlson's replacement theory that there's a plan to replace white people with immigrants. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, but the thing is,
this is Tucker Carlson saying this?
Tucker Carlson has pushed, if I'm correct, the replacement theory.
Interesting.
You know, yeah.
Interesting.
I could be wrong there. That's an allegedly, but
okay. I'm gonna research that so we can check about that later. Yeah. But because I got a friend of mine at work that pushes Tucker Carlson on me real bad, wants me to watch it real bad. You need to watch this guy. You need to watch this guy. I'm like, why? You want me to watch it so bad? But whatever.
Tucker Carlson is Fox News's Donald Trump. He's basically the mouthpiece for the populist right. If you agree with the policies of Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis and the populist Republican right, which is different from a classic Republican or even the moderate Republican, branch of the party, then you will love Tucker Carlson. But if you don't, and you weren't a Trump voter, I don't really think that you will find much of value from Tucker.
Lewis seems to believe that per his manifesto, he was a Rachel Maddow fan. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, that would make sense too.
That makes more sense. Okay.
Fox News was, a lot of his manifesto is pulling from talking points that you will find on Fox News.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's disturbing.
It is disturbing because I feel like there's no way to win with these politicians nowadays and these left, right, whatever the hell you want to call them, because it's literally infighting amongst ourselves as a nation. It's constant. If you're left, you're wrong. If you're right, you're wrong. You can't win. Trump had lower gas prices, and Joe Biden's going to run us up to $7 a gallon by the time summer happens. And it's just exhausting watching these people, these grown adults, act like kids.
Well,
but we get off topic. I'm sorry.
But I mean, look, it's a good thing because sometimes we get off topic. This is good. This is where some of our shows in the past have been the best. The problem we have as a country, what somebody once said, and I forget who, but up until about the U.S. Civil War, the thing that really defined American exceptionalism was this country's ability to compromise. It was our ability as a country to have seemingly irreconcilable values regionally within the country and find a way to find a consensus that all of those values or opinions could hold under. Now, in some ways, this is a terrible thing. Compromised on slavery until the Civil War, which was, not something that we should have done. The founding fathers were cowards and kicked that, down the road for another generation to deal with. But ultimately in America, we have been able to have a functioning government for most of the history of this country, because we never get to the point where we say this or war, this or obstruction, this or nothing. It started breaking down with the U.S. Civil War, as it should have at that point, because somebody should have finally drawn the line and said, we're not compromising on this anymore. It's abhorrent and morally wrong. And here's what we do. But we have completely forgotten as a nation how to compromise now. Everything is an existential crisis. And so if you believe in climate change, then you believe that the most important thing we can do right now is keep global warming to less than 2 degrees Celsius in the industrial age. And if that means that we have an energy shortage and a food shortage and you have kids freezing and starving in Europe because energy is unaffordable, so be it. That's better than the world being uninhabitable, possibly, potentially, maybe not in 2070. If you don't believe in climate change, then you believe we should do nothing and keep burning all the coal and oil that we have. We've forgotten how to have a conversation using that as an example to say, well, crap, okay, global warming's happening. We need to do something about it. We can't just stop burning the oil now. Let's figure out a realistic plan that works. Instead, we just come up with, we do nothing and we do everything we've ever done, or we never use coal, oil, or gas again in our life. And that's, what we've, in a small picture, we've made every issue like that. We have people, if you ask them, look at your Twitter bios. Twitter bios, you say things like if I was to define myself, at this point, I would say that I'm a father and a husband, and I'm a brother and an uncle and a son. And those would be things that I would, say that I want to define me first. But if you ask someone to define themselves these days and tell them what they need to know about you, they're probably going to start with their political party affiliation. That, my friend, is a cult. And that is a problem. Because now we have a lot of people who believe that there is only one right answer, and it's their answer. And the only way to save the country is to follow their ideology. And anyone who does not 100% agree with them, maybe doesn't 100% agree with their enemies, but they don't 100% agree with them, then they're not helping them stop their enemies. And if you can't, the Republicans truly believe that AOC is going to destroy America. The left truly believes that Donald Trump is going to destroy America. And so they believe then that you are either 100% with them without any variation from the party line, or you are against them and contributing to the destruction of this country and the way of life as they know it. And that takes away any possibility for compromise. And that's why our government doesn't function. That's why our country's screwed up. And that's why things have not gotten better as they should recently. And it's going to take, I hate to say this, I thought there might be a great shift back to the center. It's not coming. One of these two sides is going to win. And when one of these two sides of extremists win, the winner is going to destroy the country. Mm-hmm. And then it will be left for everyone to pick up the ashes and return to pragmatism after either the populist illiberal left wins or the populist racist far right wins. For the rest of us to pick up the pieces and go, man, did we really screw up here? I don't know if that's a rant. That's not a rant. That's just a very calm damning of America by me.
It's just facts, man. It's like, I see it every day, and I see different things going on in the world and the country and stuff. And I get a lot of students that come to my desk and just ask me questions about the world. And I give them my opinion, take it or leave it. But this is what I see going on. And some of them go like, we see it too. So hopefully these young kids see these problems that are in our future, and they, as our future leaders, can address it properly. So
think about this. Think about this. When I said America always had an ability to compromise, the first government of this country was the Articles of Confederation. In 1787, it was realized that these Articles of Confederation weren't working. And the government called a convention to design a new form of government. The state sent people, they drafted it, they signed it, they debated it, they voted it, they passed it, and it became the law of the land. Could you see a new constitutional convention being called today? No.
Well,
because
they're
one party
trying to
could you
change
see
things slowly but surely.
yes. But let me tell you what I think. Let me elaborate on that. The Republicans win the House and the Senate, and they call for a new constitutional convention. We're going to scrap the Constitution. We're going to make a new Constitution. The Democrats aren't going. The Democrats are going to say, we know we don't have the votes to win it. So we're going to say it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, and the Constitution is the government. And we would have two different Congresses sitting in Washington trying to govern. You would not get both parties together because neither party will risk that they could lose anything in their agenda to the other party. He'll talk politics, people. He'll talk politics. But we don't have the ability to do that anymore. But we did. In this country's past, we had the ability to let Republican representative democracy work. And that's Republican, not the party, the form of government we have. And we said, okay, we're going to debate this. We're going to see what the best idea is. What is most pragmatic? And if we lose, we lose. And we're going to support it. And for the most part, in our country's history, we always did that. Now, recently, in the last few decades, we have forgotten, especially in the last couple of decades, we have forgotten our greatest strength. And that means that if you want to have a democracy, if you want to have a free government, you have to risk that sometimes you don't get your way, you child.
That was a little bitty rant, baby rant.
Democracy doesn't work if you're not willing to lose. It means you might lose the presidential election. It means you step aside instead of creating a lie that it was stolen and asking secretaries of state to find the extra 12,000 votes so that you actually win, and asking your vice president not to certify the vote. It means that if you lose, hey, you know what? You will lose at times. Sacred cows that you don't want to give up, you will lose those programs, and the country will go in a different direction. But if you want to have democracy and you want to have a vote on it next time and a discussion rather than a dictatorship, then you have to be willing to lose. And I got to shut up now because we're over and I've been talking about politics for 20 minutes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to break off a little bit and talk about some things, different things. All right. So we're going to bid you guys a farewell if we haven't lost you already. And and we will see you next week. We're going to get this thing rolling back like it should and come back to you guys once a week. So sorry
see
for
you next Monday?
Next week. Let's go with that.
Yeah, right.
Next week.
Yeah, right. We don't ever broadcast.
We'll let you know we're coming back on the air.
We'll see you in July.
See you soon.
July.